What's going on, guys? I am your boy Sully, and today I am back doing something slightly new to my channel, something a little bit different, but the reaction to my trailer reaction and nerdy rant actually went pretty well. It was one of the better videos that I've uploaded recently. It's got one of the best reactions. So I decided, I was thinking about it, I need to do something a little bit different, and this could be it. This could be something that I could do quite often. It could be something that I do frequently that you guys might enjoy. And basically, the idea I had was a nerdy rant series, which is where I take a topic from something that could be nerd related, it could be Star Wars, comic books, anything along those lines, something that's quite nerdy based, and then I talk about a topic, sit in front of my camera, explain to you guys my stance on the idea, opinion, whatever it might be, and then see how you guys go on about it in the comments, see what happens, and just have a sit down and let you guys know a little bit more about my thought processes behind some of these theories, ideas, opinions. Like I said, whatever it may be, it may change like depending on what I'm uploading, what story, what particular thing it could be. And yeah, that is that. So, considering it is the middle of Star Wars hype, we are about 53 days away from the movie. We're about a month, just under a month away from Battlefront being released, and I am still in full Star Wars hype mode. I've tried switching back to some Call of Duty hype, tried playing some Call of Duty, and I'm just not feeling it right now, despite the fact that Black Ops 3 comes out in just under 2 weeks, but I'm still fully Star Wars hype mode right now. I was asked this question a few months ago by my girlfriend. We were just randomly sat there talking, and she was talking about one of her colleagues at work, and she sat me down and she said, in your honest opinion, do you think Darth Vader is a romanticist, or do you think he is purely evil? And I'd never really sat down and thought about it before, but then looking back at everything that had happened over the 6 movies that have been released, everything Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker did, he did out of love. He did everything that followed alongside him in the story was an action based off of doing something out of pure devotion or love for someone. In the first episode, or episode 1, it was he left Tatooine in order to become a Jedi. In episode 1, what he did out of love was he left Tatooine to become a Jedi, and then he promised his mum that he would come back and free the slaves. Obviously, most notably his own mother, because she wasn't able to be freed with him when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan came to take him, well, didn't come to take him from Tatooine, but when they took him from Tatooine, he made the promise to his mother that he would come back one day, he would free the slaves, and he would free her. And obviously, that was out of pure devotion for his mum, that was out of pure love for his mum, and wanting to see her happy and free again. So that was the first instance of where Darth Vader, or Anakin Skywalker at this point, did something purely out of love. And then in episode 2, what he did was he went against the Jedi Code for Padme. He fell in love with Padme in episode 1. Obviously, despite him being such a young boy, not really truly understanding what love is, he became so hopelessly devoted to this woman that he broke the order that he so desperately worked to become a part of, and he broke the rules of that order in order to be with Padme. They got married in episode 2, and you're not allowed to love as a Jedi. You're not allowed to be married as a Jedi. You're not allowed to be with a woman as a Jedi. And he broke that. He broke that because he fell in love with Padme, and that was one of the first stages towards him becoming slightly more evil. And everything he did out of love ended up sort of turning into an evil act in a way. It wasn't meant to happen, it just happened. He had the worst luck in terms of trying to do the best for people, and it just never really paid off for him, because everyone sees him as this villain in the end, and no one has ever really thought maybe he did it because he loved these people. And then in episode 3, what he did was he became Darth Vader. He started following the Emperor's orders in order to save Padme, the woman he loved, the woman of his dreams, his wife, the mother of his children that he ended up believing were dead at the end of episode 3. He wanted to save her, and he was told by the Emperor, before he was the Emperor, as Chancellor Palpatine, he told him about this Sith Lord called Darth Plagueis, who knew how to save people. He had the ability to save lives, and what Anakin wanted to do, because he was having premonitions of seeing his wife dying during childbirth, he didn't want his wife to die, so he followed the Emperor's orders. He did exactly what he was told out of hopeless devotion for both the Emperor, because he saw him as a mentor and a father, and out of hopeless devotion and love for his wife Padme. and then he ended up becoming Darth Vader at the end of episode 3. And he didn't mean for it to turn out like that. He knew he did wrong when he started following the Chancellor's rules. He started following his orders, and he ended up just slaying people, killing them, doing bad things. But he was doing it all out of devotion for his wife. He even told Padme that he was doing it all for her, even before he nearly killed her, because he, in his evil state, in his transition into Darth Vader, he ended up seeing it as everyone was turning against him, including his wife. When he was on Mustafar with Obi-Wan, Padme, 3PO, and R2, he saw Obi-Wan with Padme and immediately thought they were working together against him, that everyone was against him, and that is when he choked out Padme. He, force choked her, nearly killed her, pushed her closer towards death without realizing it, and all he wanted to do was the best for his wife. All he wanted to do was make the most of everything for his wife. And then, in episode 4, by this point he's already Darth Vader. Everyone originally saw him as Darth Vader, and he was immediately the bad guy. He was immediately the one that everyone hated, and he was immediately the scapegoat for all that is evil in Star Wars. And in the first episode, he doesn't seem to truly understand that Luke and Leia are his children. So he's doing all of these bad things against them, but it's out of love for the Emperor. It's out of love and devotion for the Emperor and what the Empire wants to do. What the Imperials are planning in order to take over the galaxy. He wants to fulfill the Emperor's wish. He wants to fulfill the Emperor's need of having complete control over the galaxy. So not realizing that Luke and Leia are his children, he goes completely against them and basically tries to kill them both. He tortures Leia. He destroys Leia's home planet along with Grand Moff Tarkin. And he does all of this terrible, terrible stuff out of love for the Emperor. And a lot of people won't see it like that because they just saw it as him being evil. They didn't really fully understand that the Emperor was the one controlling him, that Darth Vader saw this man as a father from the prequel, that basically he just loved the Emperor. It's kind of weird to say, it's kind of weird to think about, but he obviously did. He obviously had that connection with the Emperor. The Emperor is the one who saved him. He may have turned him into this evil being, but he saved him. He gave him a second lease of life. He gave him all of this extra power, and he ended up making him the man/machine that he became. And despite everything he was doing was evil, he still did it out of love. And then episode 5, you see he's still working with the Emperor. He's still progressively being as evil as he had been in episode 4, but he does seem to start to realize that his children are the ones he's fighting against. And out of love, he decides to tell Luke that he is his father. He decides to open up to Luke. Yes, he does cut off his hand, but that's because Luke decides he's going to still try to kill him because he doesn't believe him. But then Luke ends up realizing, because of the strong force connection between himself, Leia, and Darth Vader, that they are all related. And what Darth Vader, I personally feel the reason Darth Vader told Luke that he was his father was so that he could try to just get into his son's head, 2, sort of try to rekindle anything from his son, and 3, potentially just win him over again, potentially become the father that he wanted to be in the first place after Padme died. And then in episode 6, what you see is he sacrifices himself out of love for his son. Knowing he's going to die, he ends up killing the Emperor. It ends up shocking him ridiculously. He ends up collapsing, and then he breaks down in front of his son, tells him to take off his mask, and basically knowing he's going to die, he says to his son, "I want to see you through my own eyes." He doesn't care if he dies. He loves his son enough to know that that is what he wants his last image to be. He wants his last thought, his last image to be his own son, and he sacrifices himself. He sacrifices everything he's worked for with the Emperor out of love and devotion for his son. So that was it actually turned out around 10 minutes, but it felt like I was just talking really quickly. But I hope you guys fully understood what I was saying. I firmly believe that he was a romanticist because everything Darth Vader did, everything Anakin Skywalker did, he did out of love. Yes, a lot of it could have been pertained as just hopeless devotion. A lot of the evil stuff he did was ridiculously unnecessary. But everything that character did, everything that character progressed into, was out of an action based off the feeling of love. So I do personally feel he was a romanticist as opposed to just being purely evil. Obviously he did have that very evil aspect to him, but he was obviously very in love with a lot of people. He obviously understood the feeling of love, and he was devoted to people and just wanted to make as many people as possible happy despite what the repercussions were. He wasn't someone who was really, he didn't think outside the box. He didn't think what could potentially happen if this fucks up, what could potentially happen if this doesn't go how he wants it to go. He's very narrow-minded. He had one goal, one set goal, and he didn't care what happened outside of that in order to reach that goal. He wanted to do what was best for certain people, and he ended up doing the wrong things a lot of the time that blew up in his face, basically, because he succeeded at nothing. He failed in everything he attempted to do. He couldn't save his mother. He couldn't become the Jedi that would bring balance to the Force. He couldn't save his wife when she gave birth to their children. And he couldn't really do anything to help the relationship with his children. Yes, he saw his son through his own eyes as his final wish. He was granted that, and it ended up being the ultimate beautiful sacrifice as a Star Wars fan to watch. But yeah, that is that. Nerdy rant over. Nerdy rant episode 1 complete. Darth Vader was a romanticist. Anyone who has a differing opinion or would like to tell me otherwise, you can feel free to do so. I will not hate on your opinion. I will not argue against your opinion. Everyone is fully entitled to their own opinions. This is just mine. This was a random thought process I came up with when my girlfriend asked me the question. She already knows how I feel about this. I've already gone over this with her. But I decided that the shift of my channel is changing. It can't be solely gaming anymore. This won't be a weekly thing. This will be something that I'd like to do quite often. Just sit down and talk to you guys more, communicate with you guys more, get into the mind of my fans a little bit more, and just see what you guys are into, as well as letting you guys know what I'm into, what my thought processes are like, and giving you guys my opinions on certain topics that I feel you might be interested in. So, yeah, that is it. This has been nearly 13 minutes of me rambling, but I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, then as always, do be sure to leave a like. I have been your boy Sully. This has been Nerdy Rants, episode 1. And do you guys think that Darth Vader was a romanticist? Peace.